Now on Sunrise and streaming on crosswordstoday.com, a recent Lundberg survey has found that in the past month, the price of gas has increased by 26.32 cents. On August 6th marked the 78th anniversary of the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima in 1945. Plus, thousands gathered to watch four-legged surf stars compete in the World Dog Surfing Championships on Saturday.
Okay, let's take a look on the outside. Now we're back in Cuero. A few clouds in the distance, otherwise sunny skies today. Heat, definitely going to be the big weather word again today and throughout the week. Trying to find some rain chances. We'll take a look coming up in your forecast.
The two Texas teams reigned supreme in the MLB yesterday. I'll have that coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
I'm Trey Manning.
And today it's the 7th day of August.
That it is, yes.
2023, the first day of school for our Victoria ISD students, just a few days away, Trey.
Oh yeah, but they're looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, and the time is now, let's see, it's 6:30.
It's already 6:30? Well, it sure is.
On our Monday morning, and it's National Sea Serpent Day.
Like Nessie and Champ.
Yeah, mysterious sea serpents. I don't think the Hercules Hydra counts. I think the Hydra was
I don't think so.
On land more so.
I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
A lot of legendary sea creatures out there.
And we're having some legendary temperatures right here.
Oh,
potentially
gosh.
Breaking some records, potentially.
Very, very
And once
much
again,
so.
look at Cuero on the hot side there. Definitely 81 degrees. Still holding with that number here in Victoria. That's the current temperature, of course, with the heat index value approaching the 100-degree mark, but later on today are exceeding that by about 10 degrees or so coming up later on this afternoon. So giving you an advance warning now. Be careful out there. It's definitely going to be hot in the afternoon time. Stay inside. And satellite and radar composite, high pressure over our region here, keeps the rain away and pretty much the clouds away. Maybe a few high clouds from time to time, but nothing to produce any rainfall. Temperatures in the 80s along the immediate coast. Port O'Connor, 86 degrees. 81 degrees there in Seadrift, 81 degrees also in Victoria, and same thing for Edna and points north, about the same as you head toward Cuero and Hallettsville. Looking at the heat advisories we have, this goes into effect at 12 noon, both of these. This is the heat advisory for Victoria County down to the south, and that's excessive heat warning for heat index values approaching 110 to 115 in this area here. So that's dangerous heat no matter where you go. Please be careful out there, drink plenty of water, stay hydrated throughout the day, and near an air conditioner too is my advice. We'll take a look at this, continuing for the week, and try to find some rain chances around here. We'll see what we can find later on in the full forecast to come. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Trey. Firefighters are working to control a massive blaze at a paint factory in Garland. Multiple explosions erupted at the Sherwin-Williams plant there in Garland. At least one person was hurt and treated on the scene. Crews are still working to control the blaze. The cause of the explosions are not clear yet. No further information has been released. Now to the extreme weather impacting the morning commute for millions. Storms taking aim at much of the East Coast. Severe thunderstorms are expected today, including from Washington, D.C. to New York. The storms have already caused problems, especially at a sold-out concert near Washington last night.
Frightening moments at the Beyoncé concert at FedEx Field in Maryland last night. Tens of thousands of fans packing inside the stadium after a shelter-in-place was issued due to lightning in the area. A danger outside, but inside, intense crowding with temperatures in the 80s. People reportedly passing out, several needing treatment for heat exhaustion. At least one person was taken to the hospital.
People started passing out, and we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, it's not safe. I don't feel good about being here.
This morning, dangerous weather is expected along nearly the entire East Coast, with severe thunderstorms from the deep south to New York, expected to bring damaging wind gusts and flash flooding, with large hail and isolated tornadoes possible. In Alabama, severe storms took down trees, causing more than 15,000 power outages.
There goes.
And a far more dramatic scene in Alaska. This home collapsing into a river in Juneau as a state of emergency was issued for major flooding.
We're just watching the the banks just slowly erode. Then all of a sudden, the whole roof and everything just came down.
Officials say the flooding was triggered by the fast-paced melting of the Mendenhall Glacier. Experts say Alaska has been warming at twice the rate of the rest of the country.
This is a 1% to a 0.2% chance of this type of flood taking place at any given time. So this is a very rare event.
Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
The suspects you are about to see are wanted for burglary in Port Lavaca, and police need your help in identifying them this morning. This surveillance footage from the burglary at First Convenience in the 1900 block of West Austin. The footage shows the suspects entering the building at around midnight on July 27th. They were wearing matching black hoodies with the word playlist in bold lettering on the back. If you can identify the suspects or have any information on the burglary, Port Lavaca police officers want to hear from you. You can contact them at this number, 361-552-3788. You can also submit a tip to Calhoun County Crime Stoppers. That number is 361-552-2274. Children in need are heading back to school with the essentials this year, and that's thanks to a local car dealership who hosted a back-to-school giveaway over the weekend. This was the dealership Saturday morning, as you can see it filled with parents and students waiting to get those back-to-school supplies. We're told that most of the 150 backpacks and supplies were gone in a little over 10 minutes. A local barbershop was even in the building giving away free haircuts to the children. Jonathan Rodriguez from Empire Cut says the barbershop is more than happy to pitch in for the students.
You can't just take and not give back. So this is our own hometown, so it actually feels good to give back to everybody. So the haircut is like a big part of a person's profile. So like just us being able to do that is actually pretty cool. So.
The students left the dealership in style and with the supplies they'll need for success. Victoria ISD school year is right around the corner, starting on Wednesday. And that leads us to your viewer poll. Let's take a look at what y'all are saying so far. Today we asked, how did your child get school supplies this year? Okay, let's take a look. 3% of you say the school supply drive, way to go. And 34% of you say you purchased them. And 63% of you say it's not applicable because you probably don't have a student going back to school this year. All right, thank you for taking part in our viewer poll. The price you pay at the gas pump has risen more than 26 cents in the past month. That's from a recent survey. A Lundberg survey found that the average retail price of regular grade fuel rose by nearly 23 cents a gallon in the past 2 weeks to $3.90 in the past month. The price has increased 26.32 cents. The greatest cause of the pump price hikes is higher oil prices. It is likely that the prices will remain up, but perhaps at a reduced pace. A rise of another 5 to 10 cents per gallon may come this month prior to the relaxation of gasoline demand in September. It's been 78 years since the United States dropped an atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. People gathered at the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park before dawn to remember the atomic bombing and those who died on August 6, 1945. Later, a commemorative ceremony was attended by representatives from 111 countries and the European Union. A moment of silence was observed at 8:15 a.m. and a peace bell rang out at the exact time the atomic bomb was dropped, killing an estimated 140,000 people. In his annual peace declaration, Hiroshima's mayor urged world leaders to abandon the theory of nuclear deterrence. Surfing is not only reserved for humans, as multiple-legged surfers competed in the 2023 World Dog Surfing Championship on Saturday. Thousands gathered to watch their four-legged surf stars take to the water for the championship, which returned to Linda Mar Beach in Pacifica, California. Top dogs took home the Golden Surfie Awards. The event also featured a vet clinic, adoptable dogs, a dog fashion show. In addition to the surfing and activities, attendees are gathering for a charitable cause, as local charities can raise money by sponsoring a contestant or a team. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time is now 6:39 on your Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. Actor Jamie Foxx apologizing for a social media post that some say was anti-Semitic.
President Donald Trump's lawyers now just have hours to respond to a new court filing from special counsel Jack Smith. I'm ABC's Justin Finch with more on the timing and the details from Washington.
And if you think we're the only ones dealing with the heat here in South Texas, think again. We have excessive heat warnings for northern parts of Crossroads through Austin and way out into western Texas. Heat advisories from western Texas all the way to California and back toward Florida as well. So the heat is not just us, it's pretty much a large portion of the southern half of the United States. We'll take a look at our temperatures coming up. Good morning, good morning. Let's take a look at the future tracker here. We're seeing a few clouds this morning, otherwise keeping it mostly clear, sunny skies today. And the same scenario is going to continue for the next few days down the road with high pressure planted over the state of Texas. Take a look at the plan my day for Port Lavaca, 81 degrees by 7 a.m. We're about 96 degrees by 12 noon and approaching 100 degrees by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So definitely on the hot side. And we're looking at the dry conditions. This is water vapor imagery, of course. So of course the red here you see encompassing all the region here we have in South Texas where our part of the country of the coast is. That means that all this red color in place, very dry atmosphere, not conducive to rainfall at all, but conducive to hot temperatures. We're seeing the hot temperatures throughout the day for most of the state of Texas from Red River southward, 4 degrees above normal for our daytime high today. Quick look at the tropics one more time. We'll take a look at clear Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean Sea as well. A few disturbances out there in the Atlantic Ocean, one there and one there, not really showing any organizational capacity right at this point. We'll keep watching it. Your full forecast comes up a little bit later on before we go this half hour. Carolina?
All right, Trey. Texas MLB teams couldn't be topped yesterday. Sports reporter Zach Brown has the details.
The Texas Rangers' reign over the AL West continues after they get a huge win yesterday. On the mound for the Rangers, Andrew Heaney, who was absolutely fantastic, pitched 5 2/3 innings, allowing just 4 hits and no runs. The Rangers got the scoring started in the second and added 2 more in the third. The Rangers now sit at 20 games above 500. And what a huge win that was, because the Astros over in New York came out swinging. Houston had an unlikely hero in Jake Myers. A big 3-run homer had Houston's lead even larger, but the Astros pitching falters, allowing New York to tie it up at 5. But that's until Jake Myers does it again. 2 3-run bombs on the day for Jake Myers, totaling of 6 RBIs. The Astros this time able to hang on to the lead. They go on to win 9-7. The Astros now at 64-49 on the year. And today, Victoria Northeast Little League trying to right the ship after last night and beat Louisiana. The kids trying to reach the regional tournament. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Time is ticking for former President Donald Trump's attorneys. They have until this afternoon to file their response to special counsel Jack Smith's request to prevent Trump from spreading key case details and evidence from Smith's probe into election interference on January 6th.
This morning, former President Donald Trump's defense team under deadline pressure after denying their request for a 3-day extension to respond to special counsel Jack Smith's protective order motion. D.C. federal judge Tanya Chutkan now holding Trump's lawyers to a 5 p.m. Eastern time cutoff today to file a response. In his request, Smith argues Trump could use his social media to disclose evidence or even intimidate witnesses as prosecutors and Trump's defense team prepare for trial in the 2020 election interference case. The motion filed a day after Trump pleaded not guilty to charges including conspiracy to defraud the United States and conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. Trump on the campaign trail in South Carolina, calling his latest 4-count criminal indictment fake charges.
They're trying to make it illegal to question the results of an election.
Trump's former vice president turned Republican rival for the 2024 presidential nomination appearing on CNN. Mike Pence says he's not planning on testifying against Trump in the election interference case, but is drawing his hardest line yet between him and his former boss.
I'm running for president in part because I think anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States.
Trump's defense attorney on This Week saying he can't wait to question Pence.
You may think that somebody is acting inappropriately under constitutional principles, but Mr. Pence, who's a lawyer, never said to Mr. Trump, I think what you're doing is criminal, and that's very important.
Federal prosecutors say the protective order request is in line with others commonly used, isn't overly restrictive, and that Trump's team can modify it at any point during the case. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
The time is now 6:46 on your Monday morning. Still to come, an 8-year-old shot to death in Chicago over the weekend.
And good morning, good Monday morning. It's just about 10 minutes away from 7 a.m. And looking at the big weather picture for the United States here, we have high pressure over our region here, keeping all the storms away from us. You see kind of up and over the high pressure ridge. And it'll be floating around for the next few days for the majority of the week, as a matter of fact, keeping the rain away and the heat in for us. Heat index value is currently in the 90s as we go throughout the rest of the day, above 102 by the lunchtime hour, 109 to 110 by 4, 5, 6 o'clock. So be careful out there in the afternoon especially. At 12 noon, we have a heat advisory goes into effect for Victoria County south to the coast along 59. An excessive heat warning for the extreme heat index values of 115 degrees possible in that part of the Crossroads area. So today, 100 degrees, mostly sunny skies, very hot, and then 100 is just the air temperature. Heat index value way above that. Overnight lows near 80, and for your day tomorrow, more of the same. High temperatures in the triple digits, heat index values as well, keeping it hot and dry for the majority of the time period through the weekend.
Actor Jamie Foxx is apologizing for a social media post some say was anti-Semitic. The since-deleted post on Instagram said, quote, "They killed this dude named Jesus. What do you think they'll do to you?" He ended the post with the hashtags fake friends and fake love. Foxx was back on Instagram on Sunday. He apologized to the Jewish community for his choice of words. He went on to say he knows what he said caused offense and he is sorry. Foxx explained he was recently betrayed by what he called a fake friend. And he says he only has love in his heart for everyone. Foxx's comments come just months after he suffered an undisclosed medical condition. Call her billionaire Barbie. Barbie is making history after raking in more than $1 billion at the box office. The movie has only been out for 3 weeks, but Warner Brothers says writer-director Greta Gerwig's blockbuster has brought in an astounding $1.3 billion at theaters around the world. Some media analysts say only about 50 films hit the $1 billion mark, and Box Office Mojo says the movie has been the #1 release every weekend since its release in big global markets, including the UK, Mexico, and Australia. Still to come on Sunrise News to know before you go. One person was killed and a police officer hospitalized during the shooting. Firefighters are working to control a massive blaze at a paint factory in Garland. Multiple explosions erupted at the Sherwin-Williams plant there. At least one person was hurt and treated on the scene. Crews are still working to control the blaze. The cause of the explosion is not clear yet. No further information is released. An 8-year-old was shot to death in Chicago over the weekend. Authorities say the child was with a group of individuals on a North Long Avenue when a gunman approached them and shot the girl in the head. One person in the group fought with a gunman who was shot in the face during a struggle over the weapon. He was taken to a local hospital in critical condition. The child was taken to Stroger Hospital where she was pronounced dead. Police say the gunman was known to the group, but his exact relationship is unknown. The gunman is now in custody and charges are pending. One person was killed and a police officer was hospitalized during a shooting at a convenience store in Kansas Sunday morning. It happened at a Quick Trip convenience store in Mission, Kansas. Officers located a stolen vehicle at the Quick Trip at 95th Street and Interstate 35 in Lenexa. The suspect driving the vehicle struck a Lenexa police patrol car and left the scene. Officers pursued the suspect. Soon after, two suspects ran into a Quick Trip located on Lamar Avenue. Gunfire erupted as officers attempted to contact the suspects. A male suspect was shot and killed in the exchange. A police officer was also struck during the shootout. He is said to be in a critical condition. The incident is under investigation. Multiple people have died following a charter bus crash in Pennsylvania on Sunday night. Authorities say a charter bus crashed with a passenger vehicle on Interstate 81 at around 11:49 p.m. The bus flipped onto its side and was carrying 45 to 50 passengers. Multiple people on the bus died and others were taken to a local medical center for treatment. The identities of the deceased are not yet released. Two exits are closed on the interstate. No further information is released. Texans are being asked to keep an eye on their energy usage due to an anticipated high demand for power this week. ERCOT has issued a weather watch for today. The state's grid operator says high temperatures this weekend will cause higher electrical demand. ERCOT says the grid conditions are expected to be normal. ERCOT says a new unofficial August and all-time peak demand record was set Tuesday. For now, ERCOT said there is enough capacity to meet the predicted demand. Victoria County Commissioners meet today at 10 a.m. at the Victoria County Courthouse. We have some items from today's agenda. Commissioners will authorize the county judge and the county's attorney to execute the FAA grant agreement and any other documents needed in reference to an aircraft rescue and firefighting vehicle, and authorize the commitment of up to $125,000 in local funds for this purpose. Commissioners will also consider approval of the appointment of April Butler to the Victoria County Child Welfare Board. Virtual meeting options are available if you are unable to attend today's meeting in person. Without substantial funds going to child care providers and their employees, Texas could see a wave of mass closures in the coming months, forcing working families to scramble for child care alternatives. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And let's take a last look at our viewer poll. Today we asked you, how did you get your child's school supplies for this year? Let's take a look. 2% of you say a school supply drive, way to go. And 36% of you say you bought them yourself. And 62% of you say this question is not applicable to you. You may not have a student headed to school this year. All right, let's go ahead and get a look at our forecast with Trey. Trey, soon it's going to be our back to school forecast in a few days.
It sure will, yes. Better dress cool for school is my advice going to be. If you do that already, it's going to be hot throughout the week. Heat index value starting off near 100 degrees by late morning, 102 or so by the lunchtime hour, 109 to 110 by 5, 6 o'clock. Dangerous categories, obviously, so please be careful. And we have the heat advisory coming in effect at 12 noon today for Victoria County down to the coast along the US 59 corridor. To the north, we have the excessive heat warnings from Cuero area to Hallettsville along I-10, back to Gonzales and Seguin down to Karnes City and Kennedy. Heat index values 100, 105 to 110, 115 likely up there, and especially in this part of the country right here, where they have the excessive heat warning in effect. So please be mindful of the heat and be safe and be cautious out there. 100 degrees today in Victoria. That's the air temperature. What the thermometer reads, and the heat index value 110 potentially by the afternoon. Very hot. So the winds 15 miles per hour. Overnight lows will be near 80 degrees, mostly clear and humid on the outside. And tomorrow we do it all over again for your Tuesday. 100 degrees for the air temperature. Heat index value of 110 or so in the afternoon. And this trend is going to continue as high pressure is still over our region here, keeping the rain and the clouds away and keeping the sun in and the high temperatures in as well. Temperatures near 100 degrees each day, lows in the 70s. Make it a great one today and stay cool. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey, and thank you for joining us. Be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join James, Don, Matt, Karina, and Gina today for 25 News at 5, 6, and 10.